Welcome back, everybody, to the second episode here of FirstCSP, channel dedicated to bringing you the first Council Shoulder Patch issue from every Scouting America Council, past and present. On the second episode here, we're going to be diving into Mount Baker Area 603 and Mount Baker 606. Now, my general intent for this channel is to have each episode highlight one council, but there are times, as is the case here in our second episode, where two councils are intertwined and somewhat overlap through their merger, that I think it makes sense to bring you both of those council issues together. So we're going to do both Mount Baker Area 603 and Mount Baker 606 in this episode. If you enjoyed this kind of content, please like and subscribe to help us as we build this very new channel. And by all means, the best thing you can do is just share it with a friend, maybe a scouting friend that you haven't seen in a bit. You can send it on their way, maybe help us bring other collectors into the hobby. All right, so Mount Baker Area Council 603 was formed in 1929 as the merger of Skagit County 610 and Whatcom 603. So they then kept the number 603 and were Mount Baker area. Now, obviously, that happened in 1929, well before CSPs were a thing, so their first CSP would have been post 1970. And we can head over to the patch table and take a look at that issue. So the very first Mount Baker area CSP, we can see here with the council obviously listed on the top. We have the BSA, Boy Scouts of America designation, and then the name for Washington State listed at the bottom in yellow. The second issue for Mount Baker actually had a picture of Mount Baker on it. It's a picture and has an orange border. It doesn't look anything like this patch. And then when they went to their third issue, it actually looked very similar to this patch with the Washington in yellow. We don't happen to have either their second or third issue as part of our collection currently, but they don't look relatively similar. Let's take a look here at the back of our first issue. Again, because this is a solidly embroidered issue, we'll use the S designation. So this is S, and the first issue being an S1. So this is what we use as collectors to identify the different issues that a council would have. If it happened to be an activity issue, we would see it listed as SA, or if it was a twill patch, it would be a TA. But this is just a regular first issue, so we have S1. Really pretty patch. Nice picture of Mount Baker there at the back. We have some purple here, kind of similar of Mount Lassen's patch, if you've ever seen that, and one that I'm sure we'll highlight on the channel at some point. So we carry that forward, and there is a bit of, I'm not going to say controversy, but there's been disputes as far as what is the end of the Mount Baker patch set, and then what then follows as the first issue for Mount Baker area. I'm sorry, the end of Mount Baker area and the beginning of Mount Baker 606. Initially, if you go back in the collection guides, the first issue for Mount Baker is listed as this patch here. We have this aqua blue border. We have the 606 for Mount Baker listed. We have a nice designation, nice kind of symbol, northwest design from art of the indigenous people of that area, etc. This is one of my favorite patches. This color for the border is super unique. It's not something that we really see in very many patches at all. I think it's one of the most beautiful patches. So this was done as a fundraiser for the Camp Museum, I believe. Let me see if I can pull up that information. Yeah. Camp Black Mountain Museum Fund. This was done as a fundraiser. Not too many of these were made. Currently, the most recent collection guide lists that 40 or 50 to these were made, and because it was a fundraiser, that's listed as an activity patch. So we're going to see here on the back that we've got this as SA1. Now, older versions of the collection guide list the second patch as this Mount Baker Council, which then said 603, which is the number that was used by Mount Baker area, the previous council. It is now believed that this was an earlier patch. This is actually part of a set that Mount Baker released in, I believe, around 1991. We do have that set. They created CSPs for councils in the area that existed before CSPs, before 1970. If you'd like to see this set, which we do have, by all means, drop me a comment in the comments below, and maybe we can get that up as an episode as well. But for right now, this was originally listed as SA2 for Mount Baker 606, but now it is listed as an SA 14.1 for Mount Baker area, because it is part of that previous set that really existed before the transition to Mount Baker 606. Now, in addition, since the first issue here for Mount Baker 606 was a special issue or an activity issue, we generally with our collection try and collect the first regular issue as well. And the first regular issue then came in the form of this patch, which is the S2A for Mount Baker Council. It's the nice gold mylar border, gold mylar fleur-de-lis. And this patch actually came in two variants. And the most telling variation between the two variants is actually found in the teeth of the totem here. So the S2A is listed as having 7 teeth in the bottom. And I'm just going to try and move this up so I can get the other one on frame. We do have the S2B as well. And you can see the S2B is defined by having 5 teeth in the bottom row. So here we have S2A and S2B, S2A being the first regular issue that Mount Baker 606 released. And I'll go ahead and flip these over so we can see the backs. Again, we use our little tags for denoting S2A and S2B. I do not know if all the S2Bs came with a black backing material. Both of these are plastic backs. I believe it may be the case that I have seen S2Bs that don't necessarily have a black back. They may also have a clear backing material like the S2A. So that's one of those things. I don't have enough issues of these to be able to guarantee that they're all going to look like that. And you will find in a variety of multiple production runs, which occasionally happen, that you're going to find some variation there in the patches. But the distinction on the first regular issue here from Mount Baker 606 is going to come by looking at the teeth for the totem. So the A is going to have I think it's 7 teeth. Just looks like a bunch of teeth to me. And the lower one you can see very clearly is the 5 tooth. And those are the patches there for Mount Baker area 603, which was the first council there, and then that transitioned in 1993 to Mount Baker. They dropped the area, and then it was 606. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode, delving into one of our councils from the Northwest. If you did like it, please feel free to share this with your fellow scouts and scouters, collection enthusiasts. We'd love to share this information with people wide and far. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And if there's a council that you would like to see the first issue of, please feel free to drop it in the comments, and it might be our next issue. Until next time, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you real soon.